way that I view woke men trying to appeal to woke women or try.
Well, ladies, define woke. Is there such thing as a woman who is actually woke? Have you ever met a woman who was enlightened like I am? So, uh, ladies, if you were woke, you would be with your man. How come you're not woke? And who said I was trying to appeal to you? I'm trying to teach you girls about your narcissism. Since I am woke, I'm trying to teach you about your wealth narcissism as a gold digger. Look, any woman can be bought in sociology, right? How can you build a family with a girl who can be bought by any random stranger on the street? Ladies, you're working class narcissists. You care a lot about the prestige of your man's job because you're a celebrity narcissist, right? You want to be famous, right? Uh, are women woke when they have long hoe nails? No, they never even asked men if they like those long hoe nails. If you wanted a family guy, ladies, you might consider clipping them, right? It's not very woke. Women are sexual narcissists, so they care more about random dudes than the individual now. Right? So it doesn't matter who you become in life. Women don't care if there's a role model for children. The public cannot name a single woman who would be a good role model. They named Kim Kardashian as a joke. That's why I'm vetting all of you worldwide to find a woman who's not a pretentious brat, who's not a narcissist, to be first queen of the continent here in Amaxa as a new nation. Look, Taylor Swift didn't pass the test, right? You have a lot of American girls who just fail the test, right? She was a celebrity, too smug to talk to her real guy. So she gets to lie in the bed she made with the former US government, having phony relationships, right? NDAs where she'll sign that she'll get married to their football player sponsored by Pfizer, right? And so now you have a lot of women who are martial narcissists. You see a lot of these girls getting in street fights with their high heel shoes. Should they actually be doing that if they can't fight? What happens if they get a double concussion? What happens? Bad things happen, right? Which leads to your medical narcissism, right? You want to say that I need help. Well, the leading therapist will tell you that your woman should be your therapy, ladies. Are you good therapy for your man? Right? So, yeah, women do like to torture men. How do they do that? Well, they abuse law enforcement. So they swat their guy. Just like gamers who are doing a first person shooter, well, they will swat the other gamers, right? Well, women will do the same thing now, and they'll abuse law enforcement of the former US government that I toppled 12 years ago, right? So they want to see the cops kill their guy if they get a mood swing, right? They're hoping for a murder by the former US government since they failed to understand and uphold basic rights, the right to life. Hey, also, this leads to women being narcissistic about childbirth, right? Uh, if you give women birth control, well, that is a huge power, the power over life and death, the power to see if the human race continues at all. Well, you see the path that they're traveling with the 4B movement and the fifth wave feminists. It's all about denying men fatherhood. That's what a fifth wave feminist is. She's denying the men of dignity, respect, and looking to exploit men, right? So if you do have a child with a parental narcissist, well, the man will never get to see his son, just like I haven't ever seen my son as leader of the Free World Ladies, right? That makes you all look bad. You're a parental narcissist because the stats say that when you get rid of that father for your guilt-free sex life, well, the child does worse across the spectrum and has an 80% higher chance of incarceration. That means you don't really care about parenting. You just pretend to, like the former US government. When they extort the man of the house, instead of giving a bonus for getting married, like Libya, right, or $5,000 for every baby that you have, you would still be coddling the money narcissist, but it would instead be for family continuity instead of extorting the man in a sexist anti-male society. So once America does mature, 12 years after it ended, child support will be abolished since that was just legalized extortion, destroying the nuclear family, right? So women are height narcissists. Now, you're not tall enough, right, to date. And look, it is only 15% of the guys that are over 6 foot. Well, now women only want a guy who's 6'3" and above. So I'm not tall enough anymore at 6 foot. The king of the continent just didn't make the cut, right? Like most of you. And why do women want a taller guy? Well, we were putting women over our shoulder, making our women smaller and smaller, it appears, should they become injured. Now women want to mate with tall guys because, look, women innately fear men because they're better at fighting, right? So they want to compete with the men now at fighting. They want to be taller. So they want to get with taller offspring so that they can beat the men in a fight. As the leading sociologist, I would say your underlying issue for relationships, the collapse of the family and marriage and dating and relationships, well, it's just the baseline of hookup culture is bolstering the sexual narcissist. And after sleeping with only 5 men, ladies, you have an only 20% chance of a healthy marriage. Well, it turns out women aren't actually serious about marriage. Your average marriage lasts only 8 years on average. Why not your relationship? You know, ladies, any friendship would last a lifetime. So you have the issue, all this stuff that women are narcissists, right? And marriage is now oppressive. A healthy relationship is oppressive. And no one for a few generations has ever had a healthy relationship, right? So they're sciolists talking about relationships they've never had before, right? To have a healthy one, a woman would have to have the humility to be with her man in the moment, which none of these women have ever had my entire life. They want their own roster of men that they sleep with as a masculine feminist. And there's a reason she wants a schedule so she can cheat on you. And statistically, it's somebody at work your partner cheats with. Well, hey, putting your career first was part of the problem. You want to instead be with your woman to build trust in the moment in our modern phone app culture, where women have a new guy for every meal of the day, right? Just to exploit men to get a free meal, right? So it's all about the fifth wave feminist exploiting the man, right? Is that really woke? No, it leads to population collapse and children who are having a rampage.